So, Cindy, I want you to meet Lisa and Kevin. They live here on this beautiful property with their son, Steele, who's 19. That's him in the middle. Now, these guys put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this place. It was supposed to be their forever home, but we're here. So you can imagine they're having a hell of a time with the paranormal. Now, these guys aren't asking for much. They just want to go back to living a peaceful life, and they don't know whether they can do it here or if it's going to have to be someplace else. So Cindy can start telling us about her walk and maybe figure things out.
There's a dead woman who is very active. She's very aggressive. She's angry. And she feels like this is her house. She doesn't want other people here. She felt like something had been taken from her in life, that she had been forced to be on the land. She kept saying to me, I want to find my daughter. I can't find my daughter. I want to be connected with my daughter. I kept hearing the name Mary over and over. Mary, Mary, Mary.
You guys probably know this history, but Cindy doesn't. The original owner of the land was a famous Shakespearean actress named Helena Modjeska. The whole area of Majestic Canyon is named after her. She originally came from Krakow, Poland. Her first husband was an older actor who discovered her. They had 2 kids, a son named Ralph and a daughter named Marielka. So that's the Mary. Marielka tragically died at the age of 2. This happened in Poland, so we have no access to the records, so we don't know what the cause of death was. We do know that after the baby died, the husband skipped town. A few years later, she remarried a guy named Count Bozenta, and they moved here to the US. In 1888, they bought a huge piece of land here in the canyon, which includes your house. I actually have a photo of it with her in it. Now, she never really got over the loss of her daughter or being away from Poland. In 1893, she was banned from ever returning to Poland after speaking out against the Russian leaders. Now, her health went downhill after that, and she died in 1909 from Brice disease, a catch-all for kidney disease back then. She was only 68 years old. Here's a photo of her from when she was a young actress. Could this possibly be the woman you saw?
I'm 100% sure it's her, 100%.
You guys have heard of her, right?
Yes. We finally toured her home probably 6 months ago. As I toured her home, there are so many similarities of the things I have done in my house, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
This is her home. To her, she doesn't want other people in her home, and she's making it her home through you.
Now, is that the only way she's interacting with them?
So, no. I feel like people might feel touched by her. People can feel something behind them. She'll make people really uncomfortable, give them anxiety.
Now, you were touched. Tell her about that.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like fingers, and sometimes it feels like a pressure, like something would sit on the backside of me and kind of push.
Tell Cindy how you write down what she says to you.
She sits at the foot of the bed, and then I tell my husband, I hear her, and so my husband said, you have to get a notebook.
Yeah, so this is it.
So I wrote things she says, I can't live like this. Remember me.
I think you're very psychic, and I think you're also a medium. And I think that this woman has a very strong influence on you, even more than I think you're aware of. I had a sketch done about a scene that I saw with you and the dead woman in the house in the kitchen.
Oof, it's a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That would definitely be you.
I guess I feel so bad that she's angry, you know? I just feel like we put our heart into this. We brought back this place that is so magical. And to be angry at us or to want to harm us is just, it's heartbreaking.
I think one of the biggest issues here has to do with the land. I got the feeling that in the past, this land just wasn't respected by a lot of people. I felt that in the 1950s, there had been some sort of construction there where people had done some digging without knowing what they were doing, without respect. Basically, it stirred up a lot of energy. I certainly wouldn't want to be doing renovations on this land at all.
Well, it's a little late for that.
These guys did extensive renovations.
That makes a lot of sense.
So you're saying how the land is pissed and disrespected. So you should know there was a massacre of Native Americans took place in this area back in the 1800s. What happened in a spot called Black Star Canyon,
Yes.
which is about 7 miles from here, less than 7 miles. Now, you mentioned digging and disrespecting the land. In 1878, an American company started mining coal on what was once sacred Tongva land.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Because I kept seeing digging, and I felt like the ground had been cracked open. Something was cracked open.
This went on for about 4 decades. In 1938, the skeletal remains of a Tongva tribe member was found in the mountains. So when you started talking about the land being angry, do you think that could have anything to do with it?
Absolutely. There's more. So really, I think the biggest threat to your safety, to your family, is this black mass that's from the land. This is not human spirit. This is inhuman. It's never been human, but it's powerful. When the coal mining happened, when the ground was broken like that, it created a monster, really. It can affect people in a lot of different ways. Depression, anxiety, it can make people sick. Heart attacks, cancer, illness.
About a year and a half ago, my wife came to me. She says, "Kevin, you don't look very good. You look sick." So I went to the doctor, and it turns out I had a tumor in my kidney. So I had a part of my kidney removed, and it was cancerous.
This mass, it can affect people psychologically. It can really make them insane. And when I was in the back house, I sensed it was making a male teenager feel very depressed, anxiety.
That's where Steele lives, the son.
I also saw that it was giving this kid night terrors.
So, Lisa, if you can you tell Cindy about Steele's nightmares? Because he told me.
So they all involve a tall shadow person that he says is so tall that when it stands outside his room, it actually has to bend over to look in.
Now, you said this thing can also cause depression and anxiety. Tell Cindy about the intrusive thoughts that you get.
I will just be standing there, picking out a sweater, doing a dish, but it's a thought that comes, and it will just say, "Oh, pick a good one, you're gonna die today."